in Afghanistan, as some of the first female vets ever. Just happens to be in Los Angeles, popped into Dog Bless You headquarters, and then I have on the cell phone, which is like, so this is really, Carlene from Service Dog Project. One of the unique things here is they're both from Ipswich. He's from the Ipswich overseas. She's Ipswich, Massachusetts. And it's just like, this is a great honor. We've never had a situation. And so in the impromptu way of Charlie at Dog Bless You, who does not have the best attention span, I was like, let's try an experiment. Let's go live and just say hello to people. And I thought it was a great opportunity to introduce a new friend to the Dog Bless You family in Penn. And Carlene was the first to greet. And if anyone has any questions, let's shoot away, or we can talk.
Far away.
You know. Let's see. Do you have a question for us?
Which ear you're going to be in for a question?
But no, this is.
We have a slight delay, so they're hearing you a couple seconds.
Okay. In our high-tech world at Dog Bless You, we have right now iPads, iPhones, and computer screens. None of us really know what we're doing, so if there's any glitches or delays, remember, we are dog lovers. We don't claim to be technologists here. So bear with us.
I didn't even know how to log in.
What's that?
What picture of us do you have on?
Oh, you know, where is Lulu? I should bring her in.
Me sitting on the floor, or you got the training room? Hey,
come on in.
Hey. Bend it down.
Here's Lulu.
Here we go.
It just goes over. If people, I don't know if they're aware of this, but Lulu is one of the dogs from Carlene's Service Dog Project. Who's now a Dog Bless You mascot. We might have she really loves her food, Carlene.
I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah. And when you put the chicken out here, that's Daphne, another mascot, little different size.
Thank you.
We have some questions coming in through the pen.
Okay.
Oh, wow, cool.
Miranda Keenan is wondering how hard it is to bring the dogs back to the States.
Hi there, Miranda. Bringing the dogs back from basically Kabul to the States is actually the easy bit. It's getting the dogs from wherever the soldier is in Afghanistan, from that forward operating base to us in Kabul. The military will have nothing to do with it, so we actually have to use Afghan taxis, local vans, trucks, and we get the dog or cat brought over to us, and then from there we'll actually have it at our clinic in Kabul. We'll vaccinate it. We'll do all the different vaccinations the dog needs for parvo, distemper, and then we fundraise to get the animal out. And that's kind of like the easy bit, because we've got some fabulous supporters who help us and raise that money, and then we'll just transport the dog back as live cargo all the way from Kabul to America.
I have a question, Ted.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I know there's people writing in, but you know, I know Dog Bless You fans can relate. We're all such big dog lovers. We love our animals so much. Describe the bond between like soldier and dog in Afghanistan, and how emotional it is when they separate. I mean, it's the bond. I mean, is it? How do you describe it? Is it beyond, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think if all of you can see right now, obviously little Daphne here, and you know, the way that she interacts, it's the same for the soldiers. You know, just because they're soldiers doesn't mean they don't have compassion. And for us, you know, our day jobs might be in an office, you know, might be working in a shop, and it's the same for the soldiers. You know, it's their day job, and when they go back and they finish the end of a patrol, they've got this little dog like Daphne, or this big dog like Lulu behind us, but it's still, you know, their buddy, and they don't want to give it up. You know, it's helping them get through their tour of duty. So at the end of 6 months or a year in Afghanistan away from family and friends, that dog is their family and friends. And so they just don't want to leave it behind. And you know, it'd be the same if I said to you guys now, all you people watching, listen to us now, I want you to go and take your dog and just throw it out on the street and have nothing more to do with it. you wouldn't be able to do that. And it's the same for the soldiers. They've got that bond with that animal, and they're just not going to break it. And so they come to us and ask for our help, and thankfully 9 out of 10 times we're able to help them.
That's great.
A lot of praise coming in for you right now.
Thank you.
What you're doing is outstanding. Thank God for you. But beyond the praise, here's another question. What is the hardest part of bringing a dog to the U.S.?
Without doubt, the hardest part of getting the dog to the US is the fundraising. For us, once we've obviously got that dog from the forward operating base, sadly we get no discount from the airlines, and there is no easy way of getting a dog from Kabul all the way over here to the US. And so raising that money, like I said, we have a great support where we can put a dog and its story up on our website and our Facebook page, and people do rally around to the cause. At the end of the day, the soldiers have given by actually going to Afghanistan, and so it's our little way of paying them back and helping the dog and that soldier be reunited. So and it's just fabulous to see. We always do. It might take a few weeks, but we always do get the support to help with those rescues.
And then along that line, what can we do to help your efforts?
For us, promotion, please. I'm being English. Not lots of people here in the States know about Nowzad and what we do. Yet the majority of our rescues are actually for American soldiers. And one of the things we really want to do is to start really promoting animal welfare in Afghanistan. We actually have, as Charlie alluded to before, we have the first ever 2 female Afghan nationals who are trained as veterinarians. And we really want to promote that and keep that going. So please tell your friends, family about us who love dogs. At the end of the day, a dog's in Afghanistan. It doesn't know it's an Afghan dog. It just knows it's a dog. So we should be there for them, and hopefully we're going to have lots more support along the way to be able to do that.
And on the lines of cost, what is the average cost then to bring a dog from Kabul to the United States?
You're talking something the size of Lulu, so dogs you saw just now, big Great Dane. You're probably talking around about $4,500. It's not a cheap option, but it's because the dogs have to travel as cargo. So when they travel as cargo, it means the airlines do all the the responsibility for the dogs, and they charge for that. So
we should, some airlines should be willing to do some sponsorship here. We're going to have to.
We'd like to think they would, yeah. And maybe now as we start to promote more in America, maybe that will happen. I don't know. I can keep my fingers crossed.
Penn, how did you even begin this idea? Did you have a personal connection yourself, a story with the dog? I mean, how did this whole thing begin?
For me, I've always had dogs, and I was a serving Royal Marine, and I was in Afghanistan in Helmand province in the actual town of Nowzad. And sadly, one of the sports, and it's a little bit like America and England, that people do kind of off the grid is dog fighting. And I actually broke up a dog fight that I was witnessing, and one of those dogs ran off into the compound and adopted me, and from that moment I kind of realised that I wanted to do a little bit more in Afghanistan than just do my tour as a soldier and then go home, and that's really where it all started from. And obviously the town Nowzad, the dog I rescued down there, we thought what a great name for a charity, and it actually means newborn, so it's a great way for animal welfare to start in Afghanistan.
Actually, Penn, why don't you go ahead and tell people how they can contact you? If it's through Nowzad, do you have a website or a Facebook page? Or?
Yeah, we do. I'm not the best at the social media kind of side of things.
Neither are we.
I just had to be shown how to log on to my Facebook page in the other office. But anyway, you go on our Facebook page and it's just /Nowzad. And also our website is nowzad.org. nowzad.org, and you'll see lots of the stories on there. So for all you who just you love your dog story and a bit of compassion with the soldiers, if you go on there, you'll see some of the amazing stories we've had for soldiers who've rescued dogs and cats. I've got to say for cats as well. So there are a lot of hardcore US Marines out there who have rescued the little tiny kittens. So it's been fantastic.
I've never done this before. People are writing in and asking questions, and I admit I don't even have my glasses on, so I'm like trying to read what people are saying and who's this from, and I'm afraid.
Are there any problems with quarantine dogs?
when an animal comes to us up in Kabul, we have to put it through its full range of vaccinations. So they're vaccinated for rabies, parvo, distemper, flea and tick, and what happens then is, depending on the country the animal goes to, is how long it has to be wait for after it's been blood tested. For example, England, we have some pretty strict quarantine rules now, so the dogs still wait another additional 3 months with us in Afghanistan after they've been blood tested. Whereas for America, we can actually send an animal here after 30 days. So it all depends on the country you want to send the dog to.
You know, I don't want to sound a little shady here at Dog Bless You, but for the 4,500 cargo, maybe we can just get a few service vests on these dogs and just let them ride first class. I mean, why not just fly them that way, and they're not even in cargo? I don't know how people at Dog Bless You feel about that, but they are service dogs. We put the vest on, let someone sit, have a martini on the flight, and your dog's by your side. Is there a problem with this, Carlene?
I have no problem with it.
I mean,
But I do think that maybe if he and I could change information, I do have the contact people that we've done this. They send people over and pick them up, and they come back first class, and I'm in the cabin, and it doesn't cost anything. So
We can chat after this. That'd be fantastic.
you know, we're gonna have to. I can already see like a poster for Carlene's service dog projects in next year's calendar. It's gonna be like 12 Great Danes, pass the Grey Poupon, sitting first class on United Emirates as a sponsorship, and now we'll have some of Penn's dogs too, just sitting there, I like where this is going. That's a long time in the cargo pit anyway, so I think we got to figure out a way to get them right on, and I think we could save probably 2,500 a flight.
We have some volunteers to fly first class with the dogs.
Oh. We got
And then someone wondering, what process does a soldier have to go through to get their animal through the process?
The soldier, all they've got to do is get hold of us. We get phone calls, we get emails, sometimes not from the soldier concerned because they don't have access to that, so it might be a family member. Once they've got hold of us, we then assess where the dog is in Afghanistan. We have had a couple of dramas in the past where we've had some family members say, well, my husband's serving out in Afghanistan and we want to rescue this dog. We said, great, tell us where the dog is. They said, well, we can't tell you where he is because he's special forces. So we've then gone, well, we can't actually rescue the dog. We need to know where he is. So we've had to do a little bit of searching behind the scenes to find out where the soldier is. But like I said, normally we're kind of straight off the bat and we can get to the dog or cat. And then once it's with us, then it's it's a fairly easy process.
you have to deal with quarantine here too.
If the dog's been vaccinated and blood tested out in Afghanistan, then they can fly straight in.
Okay. Yeah.
So it all depends on the country. I mean, Australia's got the toughest quarantine rules in the world, and it is just an absolute epic to get an animal to Australia. So when we do have one of those come up, we kind of all grit our teeth because we just know it's going to be a long uphill process.
Right. Right. I thought you said something about 30 days in the United States.
Yeah, once we've vaccinated the animal and then we've waited the 30-day period, we can bring them over here to the US. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How many dogs?
Please choose a sponsored video. Your content will begin shortly.
Currently now our total stands for serving soldiers at over 700.
Wow.
Which we're really proud about. Obviously that number increases each week as we have another rescue come in. So it's just an ongoing process, and we've also helped within that as well contractors who are working out in Afghanistan, and people who just dog lovers who see one of our dogs on the website and want to give the dog a home. So the number is a lot more than 700, but that's the one we use for obviously soldiers. So
Carlene, one of the things that always touches me the most, and why your work is so great and what you're doing, Penn, is so great, is like the idea that while we're having this live chat, to think there are like 700 dogs right now that are just bonding and adding so much value to not just an individual's life, but the family's life, the community's life. And I think of all the dogs you've done at Service Dogs, and this will last hopefully 5, 10, 12 years, and it's just so amazing, and it's really, when you think about it, such an inexpensive philanthropic way to enrich people's lives. But while we're having this chat, if people just stopped and thought, how much love is out there because of people like yourselves, it's really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think of the fact that, you know, we've got this amazing network now of people, and it's not just those who work in Afghanistan at the kind of like the coalface of this animal rescue, but, you know, all the people behind us who support us, whether it be, you know, the people who donate their money, whether it be people who post about us on Facebook, or whether it be the vets we've gone to for advice, you know, sent us out, you know, different vaccines and medical products, or just told us how we should be doing things. So, yeah, it's just an amazing amount of people who are, you know, making this fantastic, you know, mission come true, if you like. You know, and to see, as you said, the soldier has now got 10, 12, 13 years with that animal that, you know, they've befriended. So it's just amazing.
How many dogs have you placed, Carlene?
We've placed about 100.
Wow.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. So there's that's 800 dogs between the two of them right there that are walking around. I just think that's great. As we speak and do this live chat, you know, that are just adding so much value to people's lives. Amazing.
Awesome.
And we have so many people on the camera that get so much out of just watching our bunch of dogs.
Yeah, I've been watching that for a little bit today.
There's a whole other world of people who are isolated for one reason or another, who just watch us all the time.
Yeah.
I know.
It's fabulous.
It's really neat. You've created a a beautiful ecosystem of love. I mean, both of you. It's amazing.
It's different. Something we hadn't quite planned on, but it's certainly working out well.
Yeah, I know that feeling, Colin. It wasn't something I planned on, but it's yeah, it's working out fairly well as we go. So yeah.